You mentioned before when we talked that you went through a period where you were experimenting with releasing often with your wife. Did that, so for me, uh, I have sex almost every day, and usually it's Careza. Sometimes I'll go through a period like that video that you found me where I was explaining like we are on vacation. I released like 4 or 5 days in a row. And normally, with my wife, like I feel totally, I don't even feel like the lurking urges or temptations, right? It's just I'm totally fulfilled with her and just her, and I want nothing else. Not spiritually, and I don't have any material urges too. However, when I find myself releasing often consecutively, I find the temptations start to lurk in. And not only that, but our relationship becomes a little bit depolarized. She starts to instinctively respect me less, act a little bit less feminine. I instinctively act a little bit less masculine because now I'm drained. And so we bicker a little bit more when normally we're in total harmony when I'm retaining. So when you went through that experiment where you were releasing every day, did you notice any shift in how you normally are and how your relationship normally is?
So that's an interesting observation you picked up. I enjoyed that video. There's some good stuff in there. And correction, I didn't bust every day.
Okay.
By busting a lot, what I meant is I think it was a matter of 2 weeks, and those 2 weeks I busted a couple times, 3 times a week.
3 times a
That
week.
was, that
Okay.
was the frequency, and to me that was a lot. But obviously by standard, that's not a lot. And at
I
that
mean,
time,
for SR, it's still a lot, the SR
yeah,
lifestyle.
for SR, I suppose. But I didn't feel anything negative from that, honestly.
Hmm.
The only negative I felt was more of a placebo, knowing that I did exert my life force.
Hmm.
However, in actual reality, nothing changed between our dynamic, our masculine feminine polarity, or my thrive or energy. Matter of fact, I only got hornier the more I busted, which was interesting.
Yeah.
That only further confirms my theory of estrogen making you more horny. And when you bust, your prolactin receptor is increased, so you're more prone to estrogen. And I think that's the issue of a lot of men. They get stuck in this cycle of elevated prolactin, estrogen, and they can't escape lust. They
Hmm.
they're just so looped in, it's hard to break out. That's why once you hit a couple of months at least of celibacy, I think that shifts dramatically your neurochemistry and you're able to escape this circle of lust. But going back to what you said, how you noticed that when you're busting off of your wife, the dynamics shifted, you felt less masculine, she felt less feminine, so on and so forth. I believe that's just simply because you're going down more towards degeneracy, and
Hmm.
degeneracy introduces newfound lusts like variety, like sleeping around multiple women. And degeneracy, the way it works is eventually, the further you go, you're gonna want to sleep with 5 women, then you're gonna want to sleep with 10 women, then you're gonna want to get clapped on the butt. That's just how degeneracy works.
The never-ending cycle.
And so you just when you're busting every day, as most people are in their relationships and marriages, they just start degenerating more and more. And of course, that ruins a marriage and relationship because when both ends are more degenerated, there's less of that polarity, like you say, less of that masculine, feminine polarity and attraction, intensity. So it's quite interesting that Careza is so unspoken of, even in the Bible or amongst true believers of Christ. It's very essential, I'd say.
Yeah. Well, have you ever heard a lot of times in most religions, I'll send you this amazing video after this that explained it. It's a hidden message, really. And SR and Careza is actually one of the hidden messages in most religions, but it's hidden by symbolism a lot. So, the Garden of Eden, when you think about what is the it's been a while since I went into this, but I do remember it. Basically the symbolism, if you view it from this point, is that the tree of knowledge, right, basically is a tree of sexuality. Because at least in English, in the Bible, what does it say when Adam knows Eve? Or Adam knew Eve, right? Or David knew uh whoever, right? Was that they it meant that they were intimate, that they had sex with each other to know, right? So you have like the tree of knowledge, and then the fruit of the tree of knowledge was the orgasm, right? So what humanity did was we were indulging in the orgasm. And when you indulge in the orgasm so much, it degenerates you, like you said, out of the state of ascension, purity, out of the Garden of Eden, right? Into degeneracy into the world. And so, in addition to some of the other things in that story, it was, how do we create life? Well, it's a sacrifice of our own life force. We have to orgasm, right? And what happened when we ate the fruit? Well, God said, "Oh, now they've become like me. Now they become like us." All right. And what is God? What is the main action of God is creation. He creates. So when we ate of the fruit, or when we indulged in the orgasm, now we became like God. We started to create. All right. So uh, that was a very interesting interpretation of the Garden of Eden story, and it's sound when you think about it, right? So
Yeah, I heard that one or something similar as well. And
yeah,
it is interesting, like you say, this one I heard it comes from esotericism. And of course
yeah,
they always twist and pervert, but there is some truth to their hidden meanings. And one was also, I don't quite recall as it's been a while since I heard it as well, but it was something like puberty is kind of when we experience, how does it go? Man, botching is so bad probably. Something about the roots of that tree that went deep to the pits of hell so it could spring forth fruit. That's kind of the cycle every human goes through in puberty where they're infiltrated by sex, by that sin. Let's just scratch that, man. Not even gonna try. I don't recall.
yeah. It's all good.